From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
I'm Mike Dennison in Helena. Coming up, a closer look at the controversial change and how the governor appoints new judges in Montana.
Live shot from the Montana State University campus. See the breeze blowing there a little bit. The skies are looking colorful. Not bad out there right now.
No, it's actually, especially with the better air quality that we've had this week, it's so refreshing to be able to see the mountains. And
to breathe in just clean air and it not have a flavor.
That smoky flavor is great on meat, not so good just in Temperatures holding into the 50s, 60 degrees in Belgrade. Our wind speeds are trying to pick up for a few of our eastern counties. Oh, there's the wind. Look at it just whipping those flags around on the MSU campus. It is a beautiful morning. Temperatures into the mid 80s for the afternoon today. I don't think our wind's going to be the big issue. I do expect to see another little push of smoke. Wildfire smoke back into the area, so we will be monitoring our air quality throughout the day. We'll take a look at that forecast for the weekend and early next week. Big changes on the way. You won't want to miss that coming up here in about 12 minutes or so.
All right, thank you, Matt. 6:30. We start in the Madison Valley. Grizzly bear injured 2 people yesterday southeast of Ennis. It took place in the Madison Range around 8:30 Tuesday evening. 2 men hiking with a dog in the Bear Creek area came upon a mother bear and her cubs. They were able to use bear spray to fend off the bear. Montana Department of Fish, Wildlife and Park officials say it's likely the attack was defensive as the mother was protecting her cubs. Hikers were able to leave the attack site without help and were treated for minor injuries. The trail nearest to the attack is now closed. That trail and others also have warning signs posted. FWP officials say there will not be any other management action taken for right now. Also, one of the biggest stories coming out of the 2021 Montana legislature is the battle waged by leading Republicans against the state's judiciary. GOP has accused the state Supreme Court and judges in general of bias against Republican-passed laws, ethical violations, and conflicts of interest. The seed of this dispute is a new law that changes how the governor appoints new judges to fill vacancies on the Supreme Court and in district courts. This morning, in the first of a 2-part series, MTN Chief Political Reporter Mike Dennison takes a closer look at this change and what it means for Montana's judiciary.
The impetus for the change came from incoming Republican Governor Greg Gianforte, who wanted more control over how he chose new judges.
It's important we have judges that interpret the law, they don't make law from the bench. And the prior system was flawed.
Under the old system, in place since 1973, a 7-member judicial nomination commission, whose members were appointed by the governor and the Supreme Court, vetted applicants for an open position. It then forwarded 3 to 5 finalists to the governor, who had to choose from that group. State District Judge John Brown of Bozeman was the last chair of that commission, which has been eliminated.
Our job was to screen the candidates and to make our recommendations as to who we thought would be the best district court judges. This commission was very knowledgeable, and they had a feel for what they thought who would make a good judge.
Now, under the law proposed by Gianforte and enacted by the legislature's Republican majority, Gianforte can appoint whoever he wants to fill vacancies. He made his first appointment last month, District Judge Dave Grubich in Great Falls. Gianforte formed an advisory council of local attorneys and leaders in Great Falls, which screened applicants and recommended Grubich. The governor plans to use a similar process when he chooses a new additional district judge in Bozeman this fall, a process he says is much improved over the old system.
The old process was really rigged by the trial lawyers. They produced a very short list of people. Generally, they only produced 3, and I had to pick from their list. Just like all the other appointments I have, I should be able to collect input and make a decision and not be constrained by a committee that is controlled by one special interest group.
Former Governor Steve Bullock, or whoever was governor under the old system, appointed 4 of the old Judicial Nomination Commission's 7 members, and Bullock, a Democrat, generally appointed Democrats. But Judge Brown says no one group controlled the commission, and that during the legislature, a compromise was offered to have Gianforte appoint 4 commission members immediately.
They considered that for 10 seconds in front of the House Judiciary Committee. It didn't even, no way.
Bullock says the suggestion that he picked only trial lawyers for the bench is simply wrong.
Over a third of those appointments came from law enforcement. There are several identified Republican office holders even that I appointed. It wasn't politics or necessarily even all my philosophies that went into trying to pick what would be a good judge.
Gianforte and GOP legislators, however, made it clear they want more leeway over who the new governor appoints to the judiciary in Montana. District Judge Greg Todd of Billings is the current head of the Montana Judges Association, which strongly opposed the change to the new appointment power. He says the notion that one political party should dominate the judiciary and the rest of the government is something that should concern all Montanans.
I think the Constitution is very purposely made to have separation of powers. If you have all power vested in one group, regardless of which group it is, whether it's left or right or however you want to describe it, that becomes dangerous.
Still, Governor Bullock did appoint a lot of judges, 28 to be precise, or half the state's entire judiciary. Does that mean our judiciary is overrun with so-called liberal judges? Tomorrow, we'll take a closer look at the makeup of just who's on the court bench in Montana. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Now you can see Mike Dennison's full report on our website, as well as a list of the state's district court and Supreme Court members and how each one of them ended up on the bench. Well, buses, trains, and other modes of public transportation have to follow the Americans with Disabilities Act, which requires people using wheelchairs so they can get around. But the airline industry doesn't have to follow those rules. They're able to follow an older law that many say doesn't do enough to accommodate people with disabilities. Alexa Liaco spoke with one family who is hoping planes will soon have a place where people can stay in their wheelchairs for the flight.
Because this is probably his favorite one, because he got a ride in it at 16.
Lieutenant Colonel Phil Price served in the Air Force his entire career.
It was a good assignment.
That was my best assignment.
He traveled the world for decades, his flying days grounded by his body.
Phil was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and he had already been priorly diagnosed with MS.
Eventually, his brain tumor and MS forced him into a wheelchair.
It was advised that we don't treat the MS due to that was the theory, what was keeping his brain tumor at bay. He did not take any treatment. So the MS has slowly, over time, that's what's kind of ravaging the body now.
But his body has some reinforcements.
It allows him to change positions to help him breathe better. Okay, sit back, sit back.
A custom wheelchair gives him the ability to move and to travel by car.
So the VA provides it, but it's about a $25,000 to $30,000 chair. So you're not talking about, something that can be easily replaceable.
Because of that, it's forced the man who used to fly for work to make a tough choice.
We've chosen not to fly because of the risk of damaging the chair. We get off the plane and the chair's damaged. There's nothing we can do about it at that point. I can't carry him. He can't walk. He can't transfer. So we would be stuck.
The chair is one worry. Physical safety is another.
They have to physically pick you up and put you into their airline chair. And it's just, Phil just doesn't want to go through that. It's kind of humiliating. It's embarrassing. So I'm kind of speaking for you.
It's all true.
And the Price family isn't the only family that's made this decision. 80% of people who use wheelchairs don't come here because it's just so difficult to travel. One of the biggest problems is when families come with baggage claim their wheelchair may be damaged, and airlines are reporting damaging thousands of chairs every single year. But it's not just that, it's also accessibility on the airplane itself.
Many people think that the ADA covers air travel, and it doesn't. So that's why there isn't a wheelchair spot on airplanes.
Michelle Irwin and Alan Cholet are part of All Wheels Up, a group working to get a wheelchair spot like this one installed on all new airplanes and usable bathrooms for wheelchair users.
Some people with disabilities, they don't drink water the whole day. They travel. They don't eat food just to prepare their bodies for that.
But changing that could help those in wheelchairs feel less isolated.
It's sad because, I missed my sister's wedding.
It'd be nice to be able to go and have that freedom, not feel trapped.
Irwin says more accessible planes could save airlines money.
One airline in 2016 spent $1.6 million on wheelchair repairs and replacements.
All Wheels Up says a wheelchair spot like this one could cut those costs and open the door to thousands of new airline customers.
Because now that family, instead of driving to their destination, is now going to have that opportunity, which they never had before, to fly.
Bottom line aside, it's equity families and advocates alike want to see.
It's all about him feeling comfortable, him feeling like a human, like everyone else, not feeling different. It doesn't take just the people, the disabled people in the world, to speak up to say we need better changes on the airline industry. It takes everyday normal people to speak up.
For Phil, it would mean a trip to see his daughter living in Atlanta or somewhere just for fun.
New York or somewhere.
New York? Oh my, okay, you're going big.
And even though the day he will fly again seems far away, he has hope he will see the world from the air once again.
I gotta have hope.
Yes, you do have to have hope.
I'm Alexa Liaco.
Let's hope he does get a chance to do that. Meantime, 6:39, we're going to take a break. Here's what's ahead for Montana this morning, and then later coming up on CBS This Morning.
The link between sleep apnea and heart issues. I'm Elise Preston with what you need to know.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, the CDC is now recommending pregnant people get vaccinated. We'll ask Dr. Anthony Fauci about the new guidance if you are having a baby and about COVID booster shots. Also, Kevin Costner returns to the Field of Dreams in Iowa. The Academy Award winner will talk about the first Major League Baseball game being played where the iconic movie was filmed. And we will be joined by Allison Felix, the most decorated U.S. track athlete in Olympic history, to discuss what is next. See you at 7.